Over the last 10 years, the Earth has seen some of the most chaotic and extreme weather events on record. From month-long heat waves in China, over 42 degrees in Europe, and 1/3 of a country underwater. And as climate change continues to increase at a rapid pace due to the increased influx of greenhouse gases, we are going to see more of these events in the future. And climate change doesn't stop there. It's actually causing a dramatic shift in the Arctic. The Arctic warms at nearly 4 times the rate of the rest of the world, and a brand new study found a threat that's surprising scientists. Arctic lakes, the cornerstones of the Arctic ecosystem, are completely vanishing. In a brand new study published in Nature Climate Change, they found that over the course of the last 20 years, lakes across the Pan-Arctic region, the northern parts of Canada, Russia, Greenland, Scandinavia and Alaska have either shrunk or dried up completely. And this is a big deal because lakes make up 20 and 40% of the Arctic lowlands. The lack of lakes and fresh water in these ecosystems put lots of species, animals and even humans in danger. They provide a critical source of fresh water for local indigenous communities and industries, and they also threaten endangered species including migratory birds and aquatic creatures which rely on these lake habitats for survival. The findings were surprising. Scientists long expected the Arctic lakes to expand with climate change, as ground ice continued to melt and climate models showed that drying would not be seen until at least 2060. So what's happening here? Why are the Arctic lakes disappearing? Well, it appears that the thawing of the permafrost is actually creating drainage channels that add to soil erosion rather than water to the Arctic lakes. This means that the permafrost is actually melting faster than the climate models initially predicted. So fast, in fact, that it's creating fractures within the permafrost which allows all the water from these lakes to drain away. The reason for the lake degradation is twofold. According to the study, rising temperatures and increased autumn rainfall are the main culprits. Between October 2020 and September 2021, the year was the 7th warmest on record. This has led to the Arctic warming nearly 4 times faster than the rest of the world, and in some of the Arctic oceans it's warming up to 7 times as fast. Now you may think that increased rainfall will increase the amount of water in the lakes. But when you combine the rainwater carrying heat into the soil, it actually accelerates the permafrost thawing process, which opens up underground channels that drain the surface even faster. And the Arctic lakes vanishing isn't the end of the story. You see, permafrost soils store nearly 2 times as much carbon as the atmosphere. And if this permafrost melts enough, this carbon is vulnerable to being released to the atmosphere in the form of methane and carbon dioxide. And according to the researchers, the best way to prevent continued ice melting across the Arctic regions is for the world to reduce its impact on global warming while we can. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. It really helps me out with the algorithm. And if you use TikTok, be sure to go and follow me on there where I post frequent videos and content.